you think of Coleman Shelton's rendition today?
I think Coleman put me to shame today. He attacked it with everything he had, and it was awesome. And you know, gave it everything he had and delivered in a big way for the rookie hype machine. And the bar is set. I thought I did a pretty good job, and he definitely outdid me. And whoever's after him, I feel bad for sure.
Where did the rotation sheet idea, where did they come from?
So it really started in our room, and Mike Person actually was talking it over with some of the veterans and the coaches in our room and said, you know, we're going to pick a rookie and you're going to have to hype. Originally, I thought it was hyping up our O-line group, which I was much more scared of than having, because they're a lot tougher critics than the fans are sometimes. But no, we figured out that it was for the fans that were there in attendance at practice. And so it started in our room, and I think Joe kind of infiltrated it throughout the whole team to get eyes because he wanted to see if I looked like an idiot or not. So he told the higher-ups that it was going on so that we didn't get in trouble, and then you know, it just kind of ran with it.
So how much notice did you have before you actually had to go do it?
The night before.
So did you plan it out in your head? Or
I didn't. No, I you know, my only thought process was, you know, just commit to it and people will respond, and I guess that's what happened.
Any trepidation about with your cleats going up into the stands?
Obviously trying to not overdo it up there, just kind of doing what I need to do to stay on my feet, because that would be a pretty bad look if I, you know, face planted in front of like 2,000 people.
You know, contact starting today, did you view today as kind of a milestone day in your career, first day where those pads are on in the NFL?
Milestone's a pretty big word for it, but I guess so. It was a lot of fun to put pads back on again, and it had been about 8 months since I put pads on and actually played real football. You know, guys act like it's a step up in intensity and stuff. It's a lot easier for us in the trenches when you put shoulder pads on than it is when trying to do work in OTAs and stuff with just your helmets on. So definitely a good day for us, a step in the right direction, and it felt good to get a feel of real football back again. In terms of a milestone, I guess it's something I can say I finally have under my belt now. I've finally, you know, played full speed and full contact with the best in the NFL, so it's a pretty good day.
Marsh gave you a good first one-on-one pass rush move, shiver to the chest. I mean, were you expecting quickness from him? I mean, was it did he give you something you weren't ready for?
I don't think so. I think one-on-ones isn't really that. I'm not really counting wins and losses in one-on-ones. I'm working on technique and trying to do new things and working on the timing. Like I said, it was my first live pass rush rep in 8+ months, so the timing was a little off, and he got into me and did a great job. And we got good pass rushers on our team, and I'm probably going to lose multiple one-on-one reps throughout the year. It's just a matter of trying to work on something each and every day and get that much better the next time you do it.
Will you sit down with them at any point, the defenders, and sort of pick their brains about what they're thinking on the other side of the ball?
Yeah, I do that pretty regularly. If I have a consistent problem with something, I'll ask the guy that's giving me the problem of what he's seeing from me or what he thinks I could do better. And most of the time, they're pretty good about helping me out just as much as I would want to help them out too. We have a great locker room here, and if I ever ask for help from a defensive player and tried to ask what he's thinking and pick his brain about what he's trying to do to me, makes my job that much easier, and know what I can look for and look to improve upon for the next rep or the next day of practice.
What makes Jeremiah Tattoo tough to block or a tough matchup?
Jerry's a really shifty, strong guy, and he's you know, as quick as you get, and I think he just he's got a lot of tools and a lot of ability, and he's just going to keep putting that together, and able to bend well, able to, you know, put his foot in the ground and get into you. So he's got a lot of tools in the toolbox to be a good pass rusher, and he's going to continue to work on that, especially as camp and the season goes on.
And Matt, I'd imagine at Notre Dame, maybe with the exception of that NC State game, that you didn't go up against too many guys, NFL defensive ends like Armstead, who's 6'8", and 290 pounds. Well, what are your impressions of just Armstead and Solomon? And I don't know if you've gone against Buckner much, but just first-round picks and how that sort of challenges you early in this process.
Well, it's what you expect. It's what you expect to get in the NFL. Everybody's got a guy that is going to be that premier guy on the other side of the ball. Each and every team has one. We're lucky we have like 3 or 4 of them, and it's a great test every day at practice to go against guys like that with that much ability, that much size, that much strength and length, that give a lot of different people and a lot of different offensive linemen a lot of problems. And I consider it a blessing to be able to work against those guys every day, because I know it's only going to help me get better. And I hope that they think the same. That I'm giving up a pretty good fight myself. So it's a great challenge, and it's something that I take a lot of pride in to be able to have each and every day, because it's a real test for what's to come.
We had Jared McKinnon in the other day, and he was talking about how he was lost initially when he saw the playbook and was trying to grasp it. How is it different for an offensive lineman trying to adjust to it, and just what have been your first impressions of it?
Well, I think the biggest thing from last year in college to this year is a lot of different language. In terms of the base concepts, I've done all of the stuff that we're required to do before. It's just a matter of the different adjustments, and the different defensive structures that you see are a lot different than what you see in college. So that's been the biggest adjustment, is putting the concept to what I see in front of me. It's still obviously still have a long way to go with it, but I think I'm taking great strides each and every day to get better at that, and train my eyes to see and make decisions quicker. And I think that's been the biggest learning curve, is the snapshot decision making for the different variety of looks that defenses that can give you, especially given the different concepts of the plays that we run.
Like, does Richburg as a center, is he helping you guys diagnose that when you get up to the line then?
Yeah, I think he does a great job with that. I mean, I think Weston is one of the best in the league at what he does, and he's new here just as well, so we're all learning together, and we're all trying to help each other out. But Weston does a great job making sure everybody's on the same page and going in the right direction and accounting for every guy that we need to account for on defense.
On an average day, how many questions are you asking of Joe Staley?
I'd say upwards 20 to 30 at least. I probably get on his nerves quite. No, he doesn't, and it's been great. I really can't think of myself as being any luckier than I am, because I do ask a lot of questions, and I don't really leave him alone, and he doesn't ever turn me away. He doesn't ever say shut up or anything like that. So he's there for me, and he's there to help me in anything that I see. And the good thing is I think that we think about the game of football very similarly, and we play pretty similarly. So it's easy to bounce things off of him and see what he's done and how he's learned to do things over his 12 years doing it. So I got a lot of questions for him, and I'm going to continue to have a lot of questions for him. And until he tells me to shut up, I'm going to keep asking.
With Joe, he's had a good sense of humor talking about your relationship, but the other day he did get serious and really gave you tremendous praise about your mindset, your approach to the game. Did you hear what he said, and what did that mean to you to hear those words from Joe?
Yeah, I definitely did, and it means a lot. I mean, he's my best friend, and best friends go to bat for one another. So he gave me a lot of compliments, but it's something that it's just I just got to keep going with it, because I got a long way to go, and he was very clear to say that as well. But I can't just be a guy that has potential. I can't just be a guy that people say good things about 3 days into camp. I got to be the guy that everybody's saying great things about 17 weeks into the season. So it's just a matter of getting better each and every day, and it really means a lot that Joe thinks about me that way and is willing to say that in front of all you guys. And but like I said, got to make sure he keeps saying those things, and everybody keeps saying those things about me when the time comes.
How much goes into the process of developing cohesion with your running backs? Because the running backs often talk about they like to run behind different offensive linemen, and that lineman knows where he's going to cut. How's that been coming along, or is that something you have to wait for until you have more time with pads?
I think it's coming along great. The running backs are coached to do a certain thing, and it's pretty uniform across the entire running backs room, which makes our job a lot easier. There's certain plays where their path is determined by the play, and we understand where that is and where he's going to go. Obviously, it's our job to force the ball to go where it's supposed to go, because if we screw up, then it makes his job a lot harder. But I think we're getting there, and our job, like I said, is to make sure the ball goes to where it's coached to go, and as soon as that happens, our running backs are very capable of breaking it open and doing great things. So I think our chemistry is there, is getting there, and like everything else, it's a work in progress. But I think it starts with us up front to make sure that the ball can go where it's supposed to go, and then after that, they can be the playmakers that they are.
Is that uniformity something that you've experienced at all levels of football, or is that a Kyle kind of thing with the offense?
I think it's harped on even harder here, but I think in most levels of football, running backs are coached to go a certain way so that because our backs are to the running back, so if they're not going where they're told to go, it's going to be pretty hard to block for them. So running backs do a great job, and if they're a good running back like we have, they're going where they're supposed to go, and we're going to force the ball to where it needs to go and let them make plays after that.
Mike, what have your impressions been of Blake and Tomlinson, whether on or off the field?
Well, off the field, he's an awesome guy, and a great guy to have in our O-line room, and certainly as a player is awesome as well. He's got so much strength and explosion, and his technique from just watching film from last year at the end of what they were doing, and now this year in OTAs and now camp. He's going to be pretty special, I think, and he's done a really good job of working on his craft and getting stronger and getting quicker and all that stuff. And expect nothing but great things from Lakin as a player this season, and just a great guy to have in the O-line room as well.
Tell me about Staley. You obviously in high school have extensive experience at skill positions, like tight end, right, wide receiver.
Right.
He has a reception in the NFL. Has he brought that up? And is that something you want to match?
It's not my call to say I want to match that, but if it happens, it happens. That'd be pretty cool. But no, it's not something Joe's holding over my head at the current moment. I'm sure we'll see if it ever does come down the road. We'll have to compare notes, but as of right now, it's not something I'm focused on. Yeah. Thanks, guys.